Hi everybody, I'm Adama Milogo and I'm taking linguistics and pedagogy online with you, and I'm glad to take that class with you. So this is the first time I'm doing such thing, recording an assignment and posting it, so I will see how that goes. But first of all, I would like to apologize for not being active at the beginning of the class, because I was suffering a spider bite, which was very, very worse. I thought I was going to die. Today I feel much better. And so, yeah, I will try to answer to some of the questions the teacher asked on the discussion board. And the first one here is what was happening politically, socially, and economically in the world when the Hunger Games books were written. So I did some online researches, and what I found is that the main political and economic things that was going on in the world at the time of those books were basically elections in America. I remember Barack Obama running for presidency, and it was a big event all over the world. And at that time I was in Burkina Faso, West Africa, and we had an eye on whatever was going on in the world, and especially concerning that election. And for the whole world, Burkina Faso and the neighboring countries, it was like a symbol of hope having Barack Obama in power. And so it was like, yeah, a savior should be elected and save the whole world, including Africa. So I remember that at that time, 2008. And I also found that around that period, there was a major, I would say, inflation. Was it inflation? I would say, yeah, with the rise of the price of oil, and which shook the global economy. And yeah, and the price of gas was high everywhere in the world, and we felt it in Burkina Faso as well. So the rest of the question is, develop a timeline of significant political events dating from 2004 to 2010. Again, I did an online research and took notes. So basically, in January the 3rd, 2004, we have the NSA, which lands on Mars. And on January the 5th, 2004, Ronald Reagan dies at the age of 93. Same year, November the 2nd, President Bush was re-elected as president in America. Now in 2005, August the 29th, 2005, we have a calamity, Hurricane Katrina, that hits the Gulf Coast. And in 2007, we have Virginia Tech massacre that took place. And in 2008, 3rd of June 2008, Obama is the winner, becomes the winner of the Democratic race. He wins the Democratic race. And on August 2009, McCain picked Sarah Palm as his running mate. And then in November 2008, Obama wins the presidential elections. So these are the major historical points that I could find to make a timeline. So, and the question that follows is, why is it important to talk about what was going on in the world at the time books were written? So, I think the main importance of wanting to know what was going on in the world when books were being written is to know what motivated the writer, what pushed the writer, and could be found in those events that inspired the writer to write the book. So I believe that any book is the reflex of society, acting as a mirror to reflect what's going on at the social level, political level, economic level, and sometimes religious level. And even if those books are fictional books, they still are based on reality. They have a source of inspiration that is reality, at least the one being the person writing, because the person writing is a human being, is a living being, living in society, living with a history, and being affected by the social, economic, political environment. So basically that will be reflected on what the person is writing. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's good to know what was going on in the world of the writer. I mean, like locally speaking and globally speaking. So it's good to know that. And have you ever tried your best and it wasn't quite good enough? Oh, many times. Many times. The saying goes, man proposes but God disposes. And to explain what that was like, it was horrible. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. And I think that was in 2009 where we had a flood in Burkina Faso, and it was a horrible experience. And so basically, I was living in an area, and that area was the bed of a river we didn't even know, and it's like that river had dried up for years and years and years, and people even forgot, and it's like generation after generation, and now they built houses, and yeah, I was living there also. And in 2009 we had a lot of rains, and a dam broke, and all the water came like fusha, like that. And obviously I was rescued, I was saved, I didn't die, but I saw horrible things. I saw people crying for help, but I couldn't do anything. And I felt powerless, and it hurt me, and till now it hurts me to have been through that, and I've seen horrible things like that. So yeah, I guess that's the main thought, the first thing that comes to my mind if I'm asked if I've been through difficult situation and whatever I did wasn't quite good enough. Yeah, crying wasn't good enough for me. Calling, crying, like, yeah, it didn't save them. So, and it was horrible. It was, I don't know how to describe that. So discuss the impossible situation Katniss finds herself in. Is there any way for her to win? Well, basically, she finds herself face to face with a problem, a survival problem, and at a point, it's not only her own survival, but it's like she carries the hope of a whole community, a whole society, an entire society. So, and it's a dangerous game she is in, and she needs all the resources she available, intellectually, physically, emotionally, and which makes it very, very hard for a girl of her age. And it's hard to believe that somebody in such a situation could survive, could make a way through. It's hard to imagine. It's very difficult for her, and the only way for her to win is to keep hoping and not give up, because if she loses hope, she will give up, and if she gives up, she's dead. So hope is very important for her. Not only the hope of the entire community based on her, but her own hope in surviving, in overcoming the challenges. So I think hope is very important for her. That's the only way she can win. If she has hope and knows that she has to keep fighting, and there are chances for her to win, knowing that it's difficult, of course, but she can win. There is hope that she can win. I think, yeah, she will make it through. What are your own observation, aha moment, thoughts regarding this book? The whole book for me is a aha moment, and for me it doesn't only depict what is going on right now in the author's life, in the author's world, but for me, I even see this book as a prophetic book. And this book is about depression, it's about challenges, survival and all, and it's about districts and like how they're connected, and technology working at high speed, and connection, and so the Hunger Games series, and for me they predict the state of the world to come. A united world where we no longer talk about countries but regions. A world united as one, becoming like one giant big country, which is already happening. We're talking about globalization, but for me it's only gonna get there deeper and deeper. And this book, we could say that it's an extreme depiction of that, but I think it's like, yeah, it's foretelling something. It's like a prophecy. So I've been thinking about that, thinking about globalization and what's going on in the world. And when I read this book, I was like, aha, here is somebody who's talking about it. Here is somebody who's predicting. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So, well, that is it for the conversation, and I will see how I can post this, and try to respond to my classmates also, to respond to what they posted. And thanks for listening, and yeah, hope to learn more from everybody in this class. Thank you so much.